Am I the asshole for starting an argument with my boyfriend after he said he loves his dogs more than me? We've been dating for several years. We've both had our own dogs for 10 years. He has two dogs, Mac and Cheese. Last night, he had some friends over at his apartment, and his dog came over, and his dog. Voice, he said, "There's nothing I love more than you guys. Mac and Cheese." I was sitting right next to him, and all his friends just kind of stared at him. One of them literally said, "Dude, your girlfriend's right here. We literally have plans to get married and spend the rest of our lives together." It's not that I'm upset he loves his dog so much, but more that he said that while I was right next to him and his friends heard it. I have a dog that I love so much and would absolutely die for if ever needed. But my boyfriend is still the thing I love most in the world. When I brought it up, he said he stood by what he said. He sees nothing wrong with what he said at all. And we did get into an argument about this. I feel bad, but it does bother me that he would say it in front of his friends. It's also not the first time he said questionable things in front of friends. I just wish he would keep thoughts like that to himself. I don't doubt that he loves me. I know he does, and he is a good boyfriend. I don't wish to break up with him over this. Just merely wish he would refrain from saying stuff like this in front of friends, who will think that he simply doesn't care about me. I know how much he loves me, but his friends may hear this comment and simply think he doesn't value me as much as he truly does. I did wait until after his friends left to bring up the issue. Am I the asshole for telling him that he shouldn't say that kind of stuff, especially in front of his friends? Am I the asshole for telling my friend that I can't show up for her the way she needs me to at the moment? So for context, I 23F has been friends with her. Let's call her Mila 22F since college. Since we were 18, around 19. We kind of drifted apart due to COVID, and this is also where my mental health began to decline due to repeated traumatic experiences. We reconnected and got close again when I was 21. We've always been there for each other, and there was reciprocity. However, I found my mental health take a crazy nose dive after my abortion, and it's only gotten worse. Texting becomes extremely overwhelming for me, and even taking care of myself becomes very hard. I told her once that I'll be taking time away and I won't be responding because things are extremely hard, which she was understanding about. But when I finally got out of that phase, it hasn't gotten better, and so it continued. Me not answering texts, etc. My therapist and my orientation counselor at school tell me I'm showing signs of depression, which I was transparent with her about because even though it's not an excuse to be distant, I know that it's a sign of things not going well. We spoke last night, and I explained to her that although this isn't necessarily because you did anything, I don't feel close to anybody and communication simply feels impossible. I still apologized for my lack of communication because I've been pretty absent, and I acknowledged her feelings and reassured her that I will work on improving that. But at this period, I simply can't because I can barely be there for myself. I didn't go into detail because it'll just be another stressor for her if I told her what's really been going on. I don't really want to elaborate because it might trigger some people here, and I'm also not looking for sympathy. Anyway, she just kept saying she has the right to be upset and hurt, which I never denied. So I continued to be understanding, nor was I looking for excuses. She continued to list out the things that she has done for me, which is where I pretty much stopped wanting to go back and forth. I ended the conversation by saying how I never said that her feelings weren't valid and that I am aware that me not reaching out even when she's going through a lot is hurtful and wrong on my part. But what else you want from me? And that's where the conversation pretty much ended. So this to say, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for crashing out because my best friend is not communicating? Filler names because my friends know I have an account on here, just not my name. To provide some context on my best friend, let's call him Mario. He's been known around our friend group as the punching bag because of how naive and childlike he can be, despite him being the oldest among us. I've known this guy since we were kids, and we're like brothers at this point. So I have always defended him whenever anyone would tell him to man up or whatever other toxic masculinity BS, while I see how some people are concerned for him. After all, it's very easy to be taken advantage of these days if you don't have the street smarts. Sometimes, though, it really just borders on bullying, and Mario just takes it. However, even with his shaky family background, he's not completely helpless. He has his own job, albeit with shit pay, at least, and he always complains about how he wishes he could get a new one. He keeps saying that he'll do more job interviews, but I always see him playing some random shit on Discord or Steam. He lives far away. So I offered him an opportunity to just stay at this city condo. I'm living it near my work. But he doesn't want to rent either because, oh, I don't have money. It's a cycle with this guy. He complains about his job, doesn't bother to get a new one. Complains about how he's stuck at home all day, whines. Games all day if he has no work. It's commission-based, rinse and repeat. This all came to a head when he joined in on our Discord call the other night. Just us guys hanging out. It was chill, the vibe was nice. Everyone was getting along, cracking jokes, tossing light jabs at each other, etc. The night was looking nice because we all wanted to play something together. Then suddenly I asked Mario about his workload lately. Because that's normal to ask, right? Complete silence. Aside from a tired sigh and some complaining, he went completely quiet. Eventually, he just left the call. When everyone checked up on him, he said his data cut off, which is the worst fucking excuse ever. We all know he has Wi-Fi. Yeah, I lost it. I told my other friends that. Mario was completely immature for just not saying something like, I don't want to talk about it. I've been trying to accommodate him because I know he's a sensitive guy, but dude, I just asked how your job was. No jabs, no ribs, no nothing. Just a simple question. I've just about had it with this guy, and now my friends are going all, whoa, maybe we just need to let him cool off. They said I was being emotional and needed to give him some time. But the thing is that all he's had is time to fix his own damn life. I know I'm coming across really strongly here, but we've already tried the gentler approach. How else is he going to better himself at this point? Am I the asshole for feeling this way? Am I the asshole for not cutting my sister's friend yard? As the title shows, a while back my sister asked me if I could cut her friend yard as it was getting tall. For context, her friend is a single mom of one and lives in her own home. I agreed, then asked her for the details, where she lived, and if she wanted me to cut front and back. She told me front and back and that she wanted it cut ASAP because she already got a notice for it to be trimmed. She proceeded to show me pictures, and her front yard was outgrown, but not too bad. However, her backyard was hideous. The grass was almost to my knees, and I'm a pretty tall guy. I was a bit reluctant, but still agreed. After loading my push mower and weed eater to my truck, I texted my sister that I'll be fine with $30 bucks for doing it. She then proceeded to get mad at me and called me selfish for not wanting to help her friend because she had a kid. I told her that she was her friend and not mine and told her that it was a reasonable price for her outgrown lawn. She then told me to forget about it and that she will find someone else to do it. Now I'm left wondering, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not helping my cousins plan their vacation? Early 30s, live in Houston, TX with my husband and our twin toddlers. Both my husband and I are super busy. I go to community college and work hourly at HEB, and he's working a full-time job that's been unstable. He's had a few close call layoffs. We're constantly juggling work, school, and the twins' summer activities, so life is a bit chaotic. We are recent immigrants to TX. My cousin, 22M, is a senior in undergrad. He and his brother, who is joining for undergrad studies as well, are planning a vacation trip soon before start of school year, and he asked me to help him find cheap housing in Dallas. I don't know much about bookings. I really wanted to help. We've known each other since we were kids, and when he first moved to the US, he came here in high school. We supported him a lot, including with housing and settling in. Culturally, we're Indonesian. Family tends to help each other with this kind of thing, and my cousins are young and new to US. But my husband knew about this request and said no. He thinks the cousin should be handling this himself by now. My husband thinks it's our time, and I spending any little time will be less time for our own family, my study, and my twins. He even messaged my cousin's family directly to say they should be responsible for their own plans. Now the optic about my husband is that he is cold and unwilling to help family. He's frustrated that we're being asked for help again, and he feels like we don't have the bandwidth anymore. I get where he's coming from. We're not in a position to spare much time or energy, but I still want to help my cousin out of love and family loyalty. We argued over it. My husband says I'm being too soft and taking on more than I should, and that I'm not prioritizing our own family. I feel like he's being a bit cold about it, especially since I've always tried to support his family too. So, am I the asshole for wanting to help my cousin plan his trip, even though it's stressing my husband out? Am I the asshole for telling my friend not to come and help me? Long story short, one of my best friends was supposed to come to my house to help me after I had an accident. For some context, in May, my father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, which has been a lot. I've been driving all around the province, helping him out, taking him to appointments, raising money for fundraisers, etc., trying to help. A week ago, my boyfriend fell 50 feet and broke parts of his back. I was supposed to come and look after him while he heals from his injury. For more context, I live about 6 hours away from my father and about 3 hours away from my boyfriend and friends, as I live in a different city for work. A few days ago, I got in an accident and injured something that I have had repeated surgeries for. It was a complete freak accident, and now I'm unable to travel to look after my boyfriend or my father. Yesterday, one of my best friends offered to come for 3 days to help me do things at home, just basic stuff, like preparing some meals and doing chores, etc. I called her this morning because I hadn't heard from her, and she told me that she had stayed up all night and made some bad choices and asked if she could come tomorrow. She said she ended up staying up all night with some random guy. I am really disappointed and feel heartbroken. I've been dedicating all of my spare time and made plans look after people that are extremely important to me, and when I need help and someone offers, it's no longer an option because they wanted to party and are too hungover or regretful to step up to the plate. I'm not really sure what to make of it. I'm told her not to come at all because I'm so disappointed with her, but I don't have the energy to go into an explanation because I am beyond exhausted and I'm literally at the end of my rope considering all the stuff that's been going on. Would I be an asshole for not giving her context and not explaining why I don't want her to come now? I am always choosing to be positive and hopeful. I can't imagine offering to care for someone and then making choices that would take me away from that. Am I an asshole? Asterisk update. We talked last night, and she said that she just caught up in the night, and it wasn't planned, and was hungover, and didn't feel up for the drive and apologized. We have all been there. She told me she'd like to come in the morning still. I said that would be more than fine, and that I really appreciate her. I also apologized for being snippy and rash earlier in the day. She said she totally understood and owned her behavior was disappointing and that we would move on. Today, I hadn't heard from her at 12:30. I texted and asked if everything was good on her end, and she replied with, "I've been feeling sick for a few days, which doesn't happen. I want to be there so bad. I feel like a terrible friend." As of now, I'm not going to respond. I'm not sure how to say or feel. I was thinking about just responding, "Thanks for letting me know." My instinct tells me she might be in a weird place and has bad anxiety or is feeling bad about her choices. Her saying she's been sick for days feels like a deliberate shift of honesty. I was sure yesterday that everything was okay. She's clearly struggling with being forthcoming until I ask. And I don't want to be that person who has to follow up with a best friend. I am looking forward for an opportunity later for us to talk about it, but as of now, I need to just focus on recovery and find a way to get the basics done while I'm in this spot. Have to refocus the energy and do my best not to be too bitter or disappointed, because that doesn't help anyone. Am I the asshole because I refuse to finish a cake my mom bought me, 21M? She said she's broken to me because I refused to eat the food considering what she did to it. We were in IKEA. She spent a whole day touching everything, and when we were sharing a cake, she got crumbs on her hands and decided to pat them off back onto the said cake. I then asked her if she had washed her hands, and she said rather defensively, "At home before we left." I then refused to finish the cake, and now as we returned home, she ran into her room when we got back and doesn't want to speak to me. She's 51 for God fucking sake. Am I the asshole for refusing to meet up with our mutual online friend? So there's me, 17F, my friend M, 16F, and our online friend P, 18M. So M met P as a friend of her now ex-boyfriend. I met him a while after she was talking to the both of them and me. M and P kept in contact while M still has contact with her ex. She says it's just friends now and nothing more, which I don't see, but that's not the important part. After M broke up with her ex, she and P started to develop feelings for each other slowly. Now they're almost together, just not said officially, since they want to meet first before making it official. The problem is who P is talking to. First he told us that it was a 15-yo girl that he met on Roblox on a game. He plays a lot, and they just play together and talk. Nothing right. Then he says that she's not 15 but 12, which is really weird judging on how old they both are. Even more, so that he constantly talks about that girl to us while we're playing without her, and when we're doing our own thing and just chatting, he's always chatting with her and laughing at whatever she writes, and it's bothering him the most since he's very close with a 12-yo he met a couple months ago. Now he wants a meetup. I will confess that we did plan a meetup before, but me and M canceled it because it would be in my house and I don't feel comfortable after finding out about the girl he talks to. M texted me and said that we should plan a one-day meet up with him and that it would fit her best to be tomorrow if it suits me. I told her that it won't work since I'm sick now and my parents won't be home the whole day, so I'll have no transport. She kept insisting on other days near today's date. Here's where I might be the asshole. I straight up said that I don't feel comfortable meeting up with him when he so proudly talks about a 12-yo he met not too long ago. That because he's 18 and she's 12. I'm very weirded out by it and don't want to meet him in person, but I can talk through screen on Discord because I know I probably will say something about his relationship with that kid that won't be nice. And I won't do something that I don't have to do if it makes me very uncomfortable. M said that's not a problem, if I feel that way. But now I feel like an asshole since he came for a couple of days to meet us specifically and hang out in his blood country for a while. So am I the asshole? Sorry for any grammar mistakes. English isn't my first language. Edit. I talked to my mom already and blocked him everywhere I had contact with him. My friend as the kindest soul, which I sometimes hate. About her will only limit her contact with the guy, but she said she won't be meeting him. Thank you all for giving me the painfully obvious advice I needed. If anything more happens, I'll try to update here. Edit 2. M is texting with him right now, and he found out how I feel about it. He sees nothing wrong with it because people around me and the voices in my head are telling me I'm a wise person and I wouldn't do nothing wrong to her. So yeah, he sees nothing wrong with talking to a child. He knows for a couple of months and being obsessed with her. Also, my friend was supposed to meet him, but now she doesn't want to. And I hope the meetup won't happen. Thank you all again for the advice. Am I the asshole for confronting my GF about only telling me about a trip after she left? Last year, my GF wanted to go visit her friend for one of the biggest street parties of the year. We party every now and then. The problem is I didn't want her going to this event because frankly, I don't trust her friend. However, I told her it's her decision to go. She ended up staying home. Fast forward to this year, while I'm on a business trip. She leaves and only tells me after she hits the road. Her friend ends up unintentionally ditching her while she is drunk. I was absolutely upset and felt completely disrespected by this because she made no effort to let me know until after she had already left. I can't shake the feeling that she left before speaking to me about it to just avoid the conversation completely. She swears that this is not the case. And she didn't tell me beforehand because she was really busy. She's now saying that I am actually being controlling and is considering breaking up because of that. Am I the asshole for not cleaning my sister's car properly? Today I got into a huge argument with my sister and it's really messing with my head. We went out because she wanted to wash her car. At the car wash, she cleaned the outside, then started vacuuming. I helped, but she kept ordering me around. She handed me trash to throw away. The first time I hesitated because I wasn't sure if it was something she wanted to keep. She said sarcastically, "No, keep it." And it stung. I'm a sensitive person, so her tone felt unnecessarily harsh. I threw it away and kept helping. She kept saying things like, "Clean this, get that." At one point, she gave me a couple receipts to throw out, but I was grabbing something from her trunk and accidentally left them there. I forgot. She told me to clean the rest of the car. I tried but missed some trash in the front passenger side compartment. I've never cleaned a car before and didn't think to check every corner. Please don't call me dumb. I genuinely overlooked it. We got to the supermarket. As she stepped out, she saw the trash and looked at me like I was the dumbest person alive. "Isn't it common sense to throw it away?" she said. It felt purposely hurtful. I got anxious. My voice trembled because I know how she gets. Any mistake turns into a huge deal. Even when I apologize, it's never enough. Then she opened the trunk and saw the forgotten receipts. She rolled her eyes and started criticizing me again. I tried to de-escalate. "Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I was wrong." She kept going, calling me stupid and saying, "It's just common sense." I asked her to please let it go. Forgetting is human, but she stayed angry. I finally said, "Can you just say thank you for helping me instead of criticizing me?" Then I added something I regret. "It's your car." I didn't even have to help. Then I walked off to get groceries. The car ride home was silent. Nearing the house, I said, "Let's not make this a big thing." I still had anxiety and didn't want things to escalate. But when we got home, she packed up and said she was leaving. She was supposed to stay 2 days. Before leaving, she went on a 10-minute rant. "You think the world revolves around you. You're the worst sister ever. You have no common sense. You're only nice to people you're not close with. You treat those close to you like crap. You're a narcissist with an ego problem. You're mentally dumb. I know I'm aggressive, but I'd rather be aggressive than mentally stupid like you." Then she said, "Don't start crying now. Cry when I'm gone. I don't want to hear it," and left. Now I'm sitting here wondering, is she right? Am I actually toxic and don't realize it? She fights like this with everyone. Our mom, our brother, co-workers, even our grandma. But part of me still wonders, what if she's right and we're all the problem? I honestly don't know what to believe anymore. I'm scared maybe I really am the issue and just can't see it. Am I the asshole for not washing his Birkenstock? We have a 6-month-old daughter and a dog. We all went down for a walk. We got into a ridiculous fight around this. My husband has eczema in general. It comes out various ways. He has been experiencing itching on his feet for a couple of days. Now after he wears his all-plastic Birkenstock, which we only wear outside. I have the same pair. Since we have a dog, we use a pair of leather Birkenstock, BS for later reference, for inside the house. So when we went down for the walk, he told me he is going to wear the inside BS since he thinks he has contact allergy from the plastic OE. I asked him if he'd rather wear shoes or his other beach slippers. He said rather not. I then asked him if he then will go bare feet at home, because I assumed he will want to use this BS for outside from now on. Also no. Then if he will wash his BS when we'll get back? He said yes. Usually I wash our shoes. When we got back, it was time to bath our daughter, which is usually done by him after I prepare her. He asked me if I wash his BS. I said no. He got surprised and asked me with please. I said, No, because I specifically asked you when we went down. And you said you'll wash it. Now we had a huge fight. I don't want to write down any of my arguments here to bias you opinions. Am I the asshole for saying no?